Greetings, people. It's Jared here, Wolfgang One, back to do another Transformers review. Now, this one is a special one for me. This one was requested of Marcus Prime, and again, he's breaking with tradition and has requested something that is not a steaming pile of fucking horseshit. This is now the second time you've done this, Mark, and I'm starting to think you might be coming down with something. You might be a little bit ill. You might not be in your right mind. I don't know. But I am absolutely thrilled to be taking a look at this one this week. This one has a very, very special place in my heart, and I will divulge more when I actually get on into the figure itself. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the review for Generation 1, Sandstorm. Okay, so here's Sandstorm in his Dune buggy mode. I just want to take just a moment to thank Marcus Prime for requesting Sandstorm off me. He's got a soft spot for the toy, and I have a very personal connection with this toy. And I'll tell you the story now before I get too much into the figure itself. When I was very, very young, it must have been about 5 or 6 or something like that, we went to one of these Pontins holiday camp things, and there was a talent competition, and I entered it singing, what was it? Against All Odds by Phil Collins. And we got to the night, we rehearsed it in the chalet, blah, blah, blah. And when it actually got to the performance, I chickened out, and I was got stage fright. I was like, I can't do this. And my dad bribed me. And said, all right, look, if you go up on stage and sing the song, blah, 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 here's a crisp £5 note. And I was, oh, well, keep talking. Because obviously back then I was a player, I was a hustler. And Dad also produced a Transformer for me and said, if you go up on stage and sing the song, you can have the Transformer. So because apparently my bribe level was so fucking low when I was 6 years old, I went up and I sung Against All Odds on stage. Ended up winning the fucking talent competition. And the first prize was another week's holiday at another one of these Pontins chalet fucking holiday places. So I got a free holiday out of it. I got a £5 and I got a Transformer. And that Transformer was Sandstorm. And so it was a really roundabout way to tell you why I've got such a personal connection with this toy. Yeah, I got my first triple changer. I think it was my first anyway. So thank you very much to Marcus Prime for requesting that I review this for him. I'm not sure what his personal story to Sandstorm is. Maybe he's just a bitch for orange, black, and gold. Who knows? So yeah, this is a Sandstorm. So I might have got this guy on eBay, not complete, and then I picked up his gun, I think, for about £1.20 on eBay. So I was happy with that. This guy's stickers were in really, really, really bad condition. It took me fucking hours to get them off as well, especially the ones around the legs. So he's had a complete repro-label job done on him. His legs, when I get to the robot mode, his legs are very, very, very loose to the point where he can't actually sustain his own weight. Now, I've tried taking off the back and tried to tighten up the inside sliding joint with, what was it, clear nail varnish or something like that, and it basically didn't work. So I might have to have another go at it, because it's a shame, because apart from that, this guy's in fucking fantastic nick. He really is. Now, let's talk about triple changers. Transformers that have 2 alt modes and a robot mode, hence the name triple changers. This is before they got to the headmasters and target masters and power masters and pretenders and micromasters and shady guys who hang around in alleys and fist you on a whim, or whatever the case may be. So triple changers were something new, and Blitzwing, and I think Blitzwing and Astro Train came from what remained of the Diaclone series, and Broadside, Springer, Sandstorm, and Octane were, I think, Hasbro offerings. And as much as the triple changers are cool and their characters have stood the test of time, how many Blitzwing toys we got now? How many third-party Springers are there? Sort of blah blah blah. Sandstorm has only had like a couple of toys. He had one in the Thrilling 30 line. I don't know if he's got another one coming out soon or what the case may be, but there hasn't been a hell of a lot of Sandstorms. And that's a shame, because out of the 6 triple changers, he is by far the most successful at what he does. He is the most successful in both his alt modes and robot mode. I mean, Broadside, I'd say, is possibly the least successful in any mode. I don't own it. One day I will, and I will rip it to shreds for you on a review if I can get one for a decent price. But for the most part, yeah, Blitzwing is okay. He's kind of cool. Astro Train was quite small from what I remember. Octane is a bit of a fucking awkward bastard. Sandstorm is the only one out of 6 that knocks it out of the fucking park with every alt mode and his robot mode. Every single mode he had was fucking on point. And that's the only thing I really remembered about Sandstorm. So when I got this guy again, as soon as I held him in my hands, I instantly remembered every step of his transformation. Well, it's a G1 toy. It's not that fucking difficult. It's not. If I couldn't remember how to transform Sandstorm from a dune buggy to a robot, then there is something fucking seriously wrong with me. I mean, you can almost see the robot right there if you're familiar with the toy. So yeah, a complete repro-label job on him. Just makes him look so much better. Yeah, so this is his Dune buggy mode. Sandstorm showed up in the 3rd season of the cartoon. I think he showed up in Fight or Flee, and then had a couple of stories with Octane after that. But I always found it funny. He lives on a parallel Cybertron called Paradron or something, like through a wormhole or some shit. And it always amused me, as he's the only Autobot that lives there that has any sort of discernible features. But interestingly enough, he's lived on this like sort of second Cybertron for millions of years. Does have a dune buggy and a rescue helicopter mode though, Earth mode, which I thought was a bit lazy on the animator's parts there, but you know, whatever. So this is his dune buggy. He rolls very nicely on his plastic tires, because of course they were plastic by this point. The head section here that has the engine block on it is a little bit loose. There's not a lot I can do about that. I like it. I like it a lot. The colours are still bright after all these years. There's no sun damage. There's no cracking in the plastic. There's none of that shit. It's just that some of the joints, like this section here that will eventually form his foot, that's very loose there. You know, it's what it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's his alt mode. That's his. Hang on, vodka. Vodka. It looks exactly like what it is. It's a dune buggy, probably a little bit heavy-handed for a dune buggy. I always thought, you know, dune buggies were more sort of beachcomber sort of thing. So this is a heavy-duty dune buggy, probably Mad Max dune buggy, really. But he is, in every sense of the words, awesome as fuck, right? So there's not really a lot else I can say about this. You know, I've said everything I need to say. I think it's, you know, it's decent. It does what it has to do. Let's take it to its rather fantastic helicopter mode. And this is what amazes me about this. The other triple changes, you know, some of their alt modes were a bit of a fucking push and a bit of a stretch. Broadside's robot mode was a massive stretch. And how do you get a realistic looking Mad Max dune buggy like this and turn it into a realistic sort of like emergencies, like sort of Coast Guard emergency fucking helicopter thing, without sacrificing either of the modes? Because, you know, there's been too many compromises with the other triple changes. I mean, look at Octane's what is it, oil tanker mode, with like his fucking arms folded up into squares on the side of it. It looks awkward. It looks shit. Massive compromises were made. This guy, on the other hand, not a single fucking compromise made at all. So let's get him from one realistic mode to the next. Okay, so we're going to start by pushing this engine block down into the chest cavity. Okay, well, I say pushing, we're going to slide it, and I'll tell you why we're going to slide it in a minute, because I re-stickered the eyes, because the face is all basically white, a bit like the Autobot Target Masters, and the detail gets lost. So I tried to stick with the eyes, but I don't know if they're going to stay on. Anyway, rambling. So yeah, we push the engine block down, and now what we're going to do is we're going to push the entire cockpit section forward like that. Okay. Then we're going to take these sections here, these large wheels, and we're going to fold them into the cavity we've just created. Okay, just like that. And then these wheels here, we're going to fold these round and up to the sides like this. And then I count this as a step in the transformation. Actually, you're turning round, right? And then you fold this section back. That's got the tail on it and everything like that. You flip up this part, and then you pull out the rotor blades and separate them into 4 rotor blades. So let's let's get my fucking massive hand out of the way. So there we are. And there we are. Rescue fucking helicopter. Looking awesome. Now, I think this is the way you're supposed to do it, actually. Let's try and find Sandstorm in the identification price guide. There we are. No, apparently, right, okay, so the other step of the transformation, the price guide has it folding these two sections down and then bringing these forward. Now, the reason I haven't done that is because you need to fucking focus, you bastard. You need to stickered this part just here. And when you fold these sections down and bring them forwards, even though they do have places to go, like little tabs to hold on to, it completely loses those stickers. So I kind of feel like that's a waste of time. But even if that was the helicopter, right, you can either have it that way or bring that up and fold these back up. I'm going to have it like this for now, right, just for now. Even if it's wrong, I don't care. This is my review. I'm just going to have it like that for now. So you can see these stickers just here. Even if this section is wrong, just take a moment. That's a fucking helicopter. That is one of the most successful fucking helicopter modes I have ever seen on a Generation 1 Transformer. It sort of, you know, apart from Generation 1 Vortex, it knocks Springer's fucking helicopter mode into the middle of next week. This is much better than Spinisters. Who else was a helicopter? Probably some other people. Micromasters, maybe. I don't know. This is the most successful helicopter mode I have ever seen. And you've taken that from a dune buggy. This was a dune buggy, Mad Max dune buggy, and now it's a Coast Guard Emergency Services Rescue helicopter, or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be. I don't know. It's fucking great. That is absolutely fucking brilliant. And I remember when I transformed this to the first time, and I went from dune buggy. I didn't go for robot mode. I went straight from dune buggy to helicopter mode, and once again felt like a kid. And was absolutely amazed how they could get it so right with this and so catastrophically wrong with the others. As I said, Blitzwing wasn't too bad. But this guy just hits every fucking target he's supposed to hit. Everyone he's aiming for, which I think is absolutely fantastic. A strange little gap just there, but, you know, who cares about that? This part doesn't stay down, but then again, this toy is 30-something years old, 32 years old, or whatever the case may be. So it's allowed to have some little defects. And as I said, for its age, still in remarkable condition. The joints still squeak and sort of things like that, which means some of them are still stiff. Some of them, anyway. Yeah, the only thing that lets Sandstorm down is the fact that he doesn't have any weapon storage in either AUT mode. So you've just got basically his gun, which I think I probably forgot to show off earlier. Yeah. So his, yeah, the thing, let's have a look at some of the things Sandstorm came with. So he came with this gun here, and he would have come with an instruction booklet as well, okay, and a text spec decoder. So yeah, that's from one very, very successful AUT mode to another. Cannot fault either one of them. So now we're going to take this bad boy to robots. So let's start by taking in all the helicopter blades, fold them up very, very nicely, and slide them back down like that. Okay, fold down the rear fin and fold this back over, just like so. Basically, it's almost like you're taking it back to buggy mode. Okay, so let's do that. In fact, actually, do you know what? Let's just take it back to buggy mode, because transforming it to robot from that point is, you know, not fucking difficult. Okay, right. So there we are. From successful dune buggy to successful helicopter, back to successful dune buggy. What a fucking delight this guy is. Transforming him to robot mode is, oh Christ, very, very simple. Start by extending the front of the vehicle, like that. And bring up these orange tabs for the feet. Like that. Okay. Then we want to bring around these two orange sections just here. Like that. Fold these sections up and bring out the little black tabs which are going to form the bottoms of the arms and the hands. And then we spin around this little engine block part very carefully, because I don't want these fucking stickers to come off. Come on, you fucker. Get my massive hand out of the way. Ah, it's stuck, you bastard thing. There we are. Fold that back round. Let's bring that back up. And then we are going to stand him up for what it's worth. And ladies and gentlemen, that is Generation 1 Sandstorm. Let's give him his little gun. Put his little gun in his hand. In terms of articulation-wise for the robot, the arms do this and the head spins round, but that's, you know, transformation purposes only. So that's about as much articulation as you get. The downsides for this figure for me, and it's not a reflection on the figure itself, it's a reflection of the version that I have. If I so much as let go of this guy, he does nothing. Why is it whenever I go to demonstrate something that's wrong with the figure then decides not to fucking do the one thing that it always does and makes me look like a prize cunt? I don't need any help with that. I've got that nailed, ladies and gentlemen, right? It's basically, he falls back down into his legs. Or falls over. More often than not, both. So when I display him in the display case, I have to make sure that he's propped up against a figure that's taller than him to stop him from collapsing into himself or falling backwards. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm going to try and give the clear nail varnish another go, but I'm just going to leave him there for now. Don't you move, you fucker. Let's see if I can get a close-up on the head and just show you those little eyes that I've stickered. There we are, just to give him a little bit of personality, a little bit of detail. I dare say they're going to fall off at some point, which, you know, is just my luck, really. They don't call me the fortunate one for nothing. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this review of Generation 1 Sandstorm. Thank you very much to Marcus Prime for suggesting Generation 1 Sandstorm. Mark, at some point, you are going to have to tell me exactly what your affiliation with this toy actually is, as I've poured my heart and soul out. I think it's only fair that you do the same. So, yeah, I do hope you enjoyed this figure. If you don't have a Generation 1 Sandstorm, go out and get one because, you know, other than this sliding into his legs problem that mine is suddenly deciding not to do, I cannot fault him at all. He's an absolutely incredible figure, especially for the time, and I will always hold a special place in my heart for him because I got bribed into winning a talent competition at Pontins. So there we are. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be back next week with another review. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. It might be Generation 1 Quick Switch because Ed Bumblejumper has requested that. I might do a figure I've not done, or I might do a figure that I have done years ago. I don't know, basically. I'll think about it. How about that? I'll think about it, and once I've made an informed decision, I will come back and let you know. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Gerald Gavin Berry, also known as Wolfgang 1, with Generation 1 Sandstorm. Fuck you. See, at least that's, I'm half justified there. I'm half justified. See, ha ha, yes. Right, okay, that's Generation 1 Sandstorm, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for, I get that wrong every time now. Thank you very much for watching this person who is having massive problems talking. I promise you, I'm not having a stroke. I'm not. I'm just, I trip over my words because I'm excited, like a fucking idiot. I will be back soon. Until we see each other again, take care. Tomorrow